Fran, thank you very much for joining us here on Total Rugby, the 1997 Lions, where you were tour manager. What were you looking for in terms of selection?
I remember sitting down with Ian McGeechan and Jim Telfer, looking at it position by position. But it's not all about the players' ability. You're trying to put a blend together, and also you're looking for those guys who've got the character to go on a Lions tour, because there are huge challenges. Some people are disappointed, and particularly if they don't get on the test team, and you're looking for those guys who are going to give you everything they've got every game, no matter what the disappointment. So, character's got a very important part to play in it. So that was an interesting selection process, but I think in '97 we got it right, and we had that balance of really good players, but those with that character and grit to stick at the task even when things are tough.
And there was a strong rugby league flavour to that side. Was that deliberate?
It was just a unique opportunity because the game had just gone professional the year before. You had a lot of former rugby union players coming back from rugby league, and they were outstanding players. I think they were obviously very good rugby union players before they went to rugby league. I think rugby league had enhanced their abilities, so they were even better players coming back. And all of them made big contributions in '97.
Now, Jim Telfer is quite a character. Could you tell us about him?
He was fantastic. Jim on that tour was absolutely wonderful. The forwards, even though he worked them extremely hard, they absolutely loved Jim Telfer because of his knowledge of the game, his passion. I mean, some of his team talks, people have seen them on the video, Living with Lions. They were inspirational, and so he was an inspirational figure on that trip, and I was delighted for him because he'd had some tough times as a Lion, both as a player and coach, but to finish his Lions career on a win in South Africa must have been extremely satisfying for Jim, as it was for all of us.
Now, Martin Johnson was, of course, appointed captain for that series, which for some was a strange decision given his relative young age and the fact that he hadn't captained before. I mean, what was the thought behind that?
Well, your starting point, you're looking for somebody who is really going to be guaranteed the place in the test as a player, and certainly Martin ticked that box. He just started his captaincy career at Leicester, and they rated him very highly for his presence in the dressing room, and in discussions with Jim and Ian McGeechan, the other candidates were good. I mean, you had the Ian Evans, who was a great Lion, captain of Wales, Jason Leonard, but when you looked at it, thought, well, Ian is a great player, but he's on the wing. In South Africa, we really wanted somebody who was the heart of the battle. Jason, great player, but was he guaranteed his test place? So there was a question mark there. So that's why we ended up with Martin Johnson, and he was superb on that trip, both as a captain, and as a player.
What did you learn from your Lions tours to South Africa that you took to that 1997 tour?
I think what you learn, first of all, you got to understand how South African rugby works. Their mindset. It's a massive game out there. The things that they respect, and what attitude you need to bring to the pitch if you're going to be successful there. I always remember Jim in one of his team talks saying, look, they don't respect you, they don't rate you. The only thing they'll understand if in the early on of the game you stick one on them. In other words, you've got to be really in the faces and physical, and that's an important part of any tour to South Africa. You've got to match that physicality. If you don't, then they'll run all over you. So having experienced it as a player, that was a huge advantage, I think, in terms of my knowledge as the manager of the tour.
And what are your memories from that first test?
Well, we went in as huge underdogs. I mean, South Africa were firm favourites. I don't think many people expected us to win the series. And I always remember early on, the very first scrum, it went back. Our scrum, you thought, oh God, is this could be a difficult afternoon, but all credit to the players there. They adjusted, got a bit lower, and really were never trouble throughout the game. But I think what I remember was the ability of that Lions tour to really absorb pressure. I mean, the defence was superb on that trip. To absorb pressure, to have the fitness levels to come back in that last 20 minutes and they did it consistently in all the games. You know, last 20 minutes, we always said if we're there or thereabouts, we'll win, we'll beat them, and that's exactly what happened in that test. And what to remember, it's got to be Matt Dawson's try. You know, pick up. Scrum was nice because the right side just went forward a little bit and put the flanker in a difficult defensive position. But when he sold that dummy, I mean, half the team took the dummy. It was just unbelievable. He just walked into the corner. It was a terrific moment.
And now moving on to that second test. I mean, what are your memories of that? Guscott's drop goal.
Same game pattern where we had huge pressure on us, and the boys stuck at it and were in it. And yeah, it had to be Jerry's drop goal. I mean, there was really leading up to it. There was once again, I think, good selection where we put Neil back on the bench because we wanted to bring him on late in the game, 20 minutes, bring his energy and his ability to win ball, and that worked out. He won the ball on the halfway line when it looked as though the ball was lost. Woody kicked through and created the line out from which we drove, and then Guscott dropped the goal. So as soon as I saw Jerry get in the ball, I thought, well, there's no way Jerry Guscott's going to miss this. And over it went, and that was it. Test series won.
And how important was Neil Jenkins' metronomic boot?
Well, Jenks kept us in the games, both games. You know, they consistently were giving penalties away, and Jenks punished them. He was the guy who made sure going into that last period of the game we were there or thereabouts. So he had a fantastic series. I mean, his goal kicker, and Dave Aldred, who was the kicking coach, said he's never worked with a more natural goal kicker than Neil. And he always felt confident every time he plonked the ball down. Thought, well, this is another 3 points.
And finally, what do you think the key aspects are to a successful Lions tour?
Selection, obviously, very, very important. I think the key to it, and it was shown again in 2009, is you've got to have a situation where all the players feel as though they've been given every opportunity to pitch for the test side, and that the whole party stays together right to the end. No matter what the test results are, the whole lot still remain motivated right to the end. Certainly happened in '97. I think it also happened again in 2009. So the blueprint's there. That's what all Lions tours, and particularly successful ones, that's the common denominator. Unity of purpose from everybody on the touring party.
Fran Cotton, thank you very much.